So I'm Randy, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Randy.
Welcome to Saturday, 11/11 at 11/11 meeting. It's pretty cool. You just got it. Yay. Everybody's in the room now. So I'm an alcoholic and I have alcoholism. I'm allergic to alcohol. I can never drink alcohol again, but that is not the reason that I'm in AA. I'm here because I have alcoholism, a disease that centers in my mind, that talks to me in my own voice, a self-talking, unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind that's always in a hurry, easily frustrated, and can't stand the word no. So that's why I'm here, to treat that disease. And we're in step 3 in the books. We're reading in step 3. Doesn't mean we're in step 3, because step 3 is a right now step. It can only be done right now, but it can't be done in a vacuum in step 3. In the book it says willingness is the key that opens the door to step 3. But the willingness doesn't happen because I'm in step 3. The willingness happens because I did something in step 2. And because of the experience that I had in step 2, I am now willing and able to make a decision, the decision that needs to be made for step 3. It's not because I'm ready or I say that I'm willing to make this decision that I make the decision. It's because I have had an experience. And based on that experience, I am uniquely qualified to be able to make the decision that's needed for step 3. I'm going to make a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him. If I don't understood Him, there's no decision making possible. I can make a decision to turn my will and my life over to a fantasy, to something that I have no experience of, but nothing's going to happen. Because what can happen? How am I going to be committed and really willing to do what's necessary to live a life that's based on a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God if I don't even know or have any understanding of what it means to have that? It's just not possible. So none of these steps can ever be discussed in a vacuum, ever. There is no step 3 without step 2. There is no step 2 without step 1. I have to know that this is a building process. So first I have to know what the disease is. If I think I'm here to treat alcohol, I'm going to die. That's my experience. I'm going to either kill myself from the pain of living in the world that I live in without alcohol, or I'm going to drink alcohol, because alcohol is the only other thing that will kill the pain of living in the world that I have to live in with the mind that I have. Now, I say alcohol, but it could be food, it could be gambling, it could be sex, it could be any of those things, any of the addictions that I use so that I don't have to feel the pain of being me. But all of those are just temporary. Eventually, they don't work anymore. Eventually, if it's food, I become so big I can't ignore the pain anymore. If it's alcohol, I become so incapacitated and unhealthy by alcohol that I can't ignore the pain anymore. I can't use the medicine to cover up what's really wrong with me. Or I lose my job and I lose my way of taking care of myself, and I become a child again and somebody has to take care of me, and then eventually they get sick of taking care of me, and I'm back to all of my pain. So I have to know what alcoholism is, what I'm treating, why I'm here today. And when I know that, then I can walk into step 1 and I can start to admit my devastating weakness and all of its consequences. My devastating weakness is my mind, and how it talks to me, and how I do whatever it says, and how my mind is the power for my life. And I don't even know it. And in my mind is warped. And so I have a warped mind that is the power that's running my life, that keeps me running full speed into whatever wall it is I'm running into and smashing myself on that wall. And then it says, oh, that didn't work. Let's try it again. And I back up as far as I can and run as fast as I can right into that same damn wall. And that's how alcoholism works for me. And then eventually I can't get up and I look around for some help. Somebody, can you help me? Something. And I see how devastating my disease is. I get a moment of clarity. I see who I am. And then at the end of step 1, I stand at a place where I'm ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession. Anything. And what the book says at the end of step 1, my opinion, on page 62, it says, I have to have God's help. I've tried every way to get rid of my selfish self-centeredness. I've tried every way to get rid of the mind that drives me through fear and self-pity and selfishness and dishonesty. I've tried everything. Can't do it anymore. I have to have God's help. So then, if I have to have God's help, if I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession, which doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol or food or sex, it's just this merciless obsession to be self-satisfied, to be okay, to have what I think I need in the moment I'm in. When I stand ready to do anything that will do that, I have to have God's help. And luckily, the second step says higher power. It doesn't say God, but so now I have to have a higher power self. And I start practicing letting God be the director. I quit playing God in that moment, and I start having a relationship with something that I'm going to let direct me. And I put my attention on, okay, whatever it is, I know I can't do this. So if you want me to go to meetings, I'll go to meetings. If you want me to read the book, I'll read the book. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. And I usually let that come through a sponsor, and I do whatever they say for a while until I get everything back that I wanted, the job, the health, the right weight, whatever it is that I tell myself that when I have that, I'll be happy. And then I start getting some of that. And then I tell my sponsor, I don't need to read as much. I don't need to go to meetings as much. I'll do the 4th step one day. Don't push me. And I go back to running the show. I start playing God again. And then it's just a cycle. It's 1, 2, 3, alcoholism. 1, 2, 3, alcoholism. That's the cycle that most people go through, and that I did for years. That's why I am an expert on that cycle, because it's my life. I've done it over and over and over again. So right now, I have to quit playing God, and I start sharing my life, what it said, what Christian read. I come to the meeting. If I want to be restored to sanity, I'm going to have to rightly relate myself right now to something. I don't care what the something is. It can't be me. I'm going to have to rightly relate myself to something that I know nothing about and see what happens. And when I do it, I get some peace, and I get some more peace, and I get some more peace, and I keep doing it, and I get some more peace. And you can tell me about it all you want, but if I don't do it, I don't get the peace. And eventually I am forced into doing it. And I don't do it because I'm spiritual. I don't do it because I'm a great guy. I do it because I have nowhere else to turn. It's kill myself or God. Those are my choices. There's no half measures. So I get some experiences, and then it's understood by me. It's understood that when I rightly relate myself to this higher power, I get some peace. And when I do it enough, and I have enough experience with that in my own life, for myself, it's mine, it's my higher power. It's not the one you talk about, it's not the one you read about in Bibles, it's the one that I practice having an experience with right here, right now, today. And it's mine. And now I can make a decision, right now. I can make a decision to turn my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions, over to the care of God. I put that in quotes because that word is so charged. As I understood him, because I did something and it's understood by me that when I do that thing, I have peace in the moment I'm in. And things seem to work out. And that's that's where the willingness is. The willingness is in the experience that I could be a new man today. And that's what I have to have as a way of life. It's not step 3, it's alcoholism, ego, self, steps 1, 2, and 3 as a package right now, so that I could be free from the bondage of self in this moment. If I don't do 4, my resentments send me right back to alcoholism. That's why it's 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3 alcoholism. Because there's another 9 steps that need to be done, that need to be experienced, so that I can stay in the decision of step 3. So we're going to read some stuff about step 3, and then we're going to open the meeting up to share about it. Thanks for letting me share.
We're going to start from